Good morning. This is Dr. Michael Datcher, and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF here at 4:45 a.m. on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, and then at 4:45 p.m. On Facebook Live. Today we're talking about thoughts, thinking, the power of thinking and productivity. All right. If you're new to the show, um, we speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. We also offer live one-on-one productive through joy consulting for entrepreneurs primarily and those who simply want to live like a boss. You can go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about us. Also, if you are enjoying the show, push now the subscribe button and you'll get all of these videos for free. I did say free, one, two, three, for free. And also, of course, share these on your social media platforms. Let's dive into the topic. So again, today we're talking about thoughts and thinking and its relationship to productivity. Let me say a few words about myself first. This, again, for those who are new, this is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I am the author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, which was a Today Show Book of the Month pick. That book's film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people call by people, and I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for that particular project. That book is, I'm also the author of the acclaimed historical novel. Well, I should say Raising Fences was a New York Times bestseller, Today Show Book of the Month pick. Again, the screenwrites were optioned by Will. I call him Will, and I wrote that particular project as well. I'm also the author of the acclaimed historical novel Americas, set 13 miles from Ferguson, about identical twin sons, one of whom contracts vitiligo, the skin condition that takes the melanin away from melanated people in splotches. You may have seen people with the white spots across their face. Um, that book will be out May the 14th, about a month from now, a month and a day from now. So look for that in bookstores everywhere. Um, yes, I'm also the former executive director of the World Stage, a literary and jazz venue here in California. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergraduate. My master's is from UCLA, and my PhD in English literature is from the University of California at Riverside. I am currently a professor of English literature at Loyola Marymount University here in Los Angeles. I am an expert at being productive, all right? I don't say that to brag or boast. I say that because people are oftentimes surprised at my level of productivity given really how crazy my own personal narrative is. I am the product of a young girl who was raped at 16, gave birth to me at 17, then subsequently gave me up for adoption as a single divorcee. So at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD. Yet, as Kool Modi famously said, "How you like me now?" And if I can be this productive through joy, so can many of us who are currently watching this show. Now, on the morning show, we like to also talk about the idea of framing your day before your day has a chance to frame you. At times, we'll wake up with trouble on our mind, and that trouble has a way of following us throughout the day. And as we know, when our minds are troubled, we it's tethered to a feeling of anxiety, and anxiety is tethered to a releasing of various types of toxins into our bloodstream, which are devastating, which can literally take years off our lives. And so that's for the vast majority of people because life can be stressful. When you introduce um, being an entrepreneur or someone endeavoring to live maybe outside of the bounds of expectation, of societal expectation, that stress level, that anxiety level ramps up, and that's a major cause of problems for individuals trying to medicate that particular anxiety, being destabilized by it, etc. So we really deep dive with people and help them deal with that because that's like a fundamental kind of a day-to-day thing that if you can, as you begin to manage your anxiety levels, your ability to be productive through joy enhances immensely. So we talk about this idea in the context of a ritual. Ritual can be defined as essentially doing the same thing at around the same time. Let me give you my morning ritual to serve as an exemplar. In the mornings, I wake up at 3:45, 3:30. I read a couple of spiritual and business books. I do our show at at 4:45. At 5, I work on my current book until sunrise. At sunrise, I go out to the beach. I live here along the coast in Venice Beach, California. I bring my drum, I meditate, I pray, do yoga, come back, work on my book a while longer, um, and then go back to the beach to run up the coast all the way past Santa Monica Superior, return all the way back here to Venice to go run to my gym, Gold's Gym, to get my buff on. So by 9:30, guys, I'm feeling amazing. My body is being flooded with endorphins, and that endorphin release gives me a sense of euphoria that I can then leverage to move me towards my goals and objectives, right? So we're not saying do what I do, we're saying do what you do. And we help individuals craft, construct a morning chant, a morning ritual, and help to keep them accountable that they may be able to most effectively use that particular morning ritual throughout the day. So I'm reading 3 great books, although I read two usually, but I'm reading 3 great books right now in the morning as a part of my morning reading. I'm reading a book called Cash in a Flash, which is kind of a book about spirituality and entrepreneurial exploits. I'm reading a book called Owning the Moment, which is a book basically about taking advantage, making the most of the moments. And I'm also reading a book called The Nag Hammadi Library or Reader, quite famous book, which is a compendium of spiritual text from the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd century. Really, this book is, whoa, amazing. So from those 3 books that I'm reading now, which of course I replace as I read each individual book, from those 3 books I extract some wisdom, which I call the morning chant. Today's morning chant is, as a meditating natural mystic, I know thoughts are things, so I consistently build abundance by consistently thinking abundance thoughts. So I think about that literally throughout my day. I place it on my phone, which I'll pop out and look at it as I walk through my day and handle business. And I also create the morning and afternoon shows based upon that particular topic. All right, so let's dive in. So today we're talking about thoughts and abundance. So let's dive into the show right now. So again, if you are enjoying the show, please hit that subscribe button. Please go to productivethroughjoy.com. Hear about us, how at us, allow me to come and speak to your group or school. Let's dive in. So point 1 is that you want to know that you have the power to frame your own thinking. Too often our minds get away from us and we find ourselves, our minds being all over the place and not being as productive as they could particularly be. So you want to know that you have the ability to master your thoughts. So how do you do that? Well, in the Buddhist tradition, they talk about observing your thoughts, almost like rising above yourself as you go through your day, or sitting on your own shoulder. Like I think that was Peter Pan, and that Tinkerbell was on the shoulder. I don't recall. Somebody was on somebody's shoulder with some flying individual. You're almost observing yourself as you go through your day, not in a negatively self-conscious way, but in a way that you're conscious of your thinking. You are observing what you're thinking, and you're able to, when you're thinking, which mine does often, gets into a space which is not productive for you. You can say, oh wow, what am I thinking about? Let me go back to thinking about the truth about myself. For me, which I know that the Spirit of God is in me, for example, and I am that Spirit itself. And so by observing my thoughts, I'm able to focus them in the direction that I want to send them, which goes right into point 3. As you are able to focus those thoughts and control your thoughts, you can then begin to build your thoughts. Your thoughts are both verbal and visual thoughts. You can begin to build abundance, visualizing your dreams, visualizing what you'd like to manifest in the world, and do that in a consistent manner throughout your day. And that is how abundance manifests. Boom goes the dynamite. Thanks for being here. We air each weekday morning, hella early, here at 4:45 a.m. on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Please hit that subscribe button. Please share these videos on your social media networks. Have me come out, speak to your group, school, or organization. Look for me on the book tour. Americus, my new novel, comes out May the 14th. I'll be coming to a town near you. Look forward to meeting you all in person. Thanks for being here. So until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.